Hi guys, Victoria Paxton here. Thanks for stopping back by my YouTube channel. Okay, so today we are going to talk about Missy Bevers. Missy Bevers was a 45-year-old fitness instructor and a mother of three when she was found murdered in a Midlothian, Texas church on April 18th, 2016. So let me kind of go through the timeline. So around 3:50 a.m., the suspect arrives at church. He forces his way inside, as seen on surveillance camera. 4:16 a.m., Missy is seen on surveillance, arriving in the parking lot and entering the church building. 5 o'clock a.m., the first 911 calls come in from Missy's students who have arrived at the church reporting that she is unresponsive. So immediately after her body was discovered, the police released a surveillance tape of the suspect casually walking down through the rooms of the hallways of the church and trying doors periodically. It gave me creeps watching it. It was hard to watch. It was just so eerie, you know. Okay, so the police, of course, immediately checked out her husband, Brandon Bevers. Although they said his alibi was good, so they didn't think he was involved. Here's an interesting thing. Brandon, her husband, has continually said that he doesn't think that his wife knew her killer. Where would you be getting that from, and why would you be putting that out there? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. So the Midlothian police brought in other agencies like the FBI and some other people to help out. And unfortunately, they've gotten absolutely nowhere. You know, and this happened in 2016. So it's been 4 years and they haven't gotten anywhere with the case. Okay, so I was able to connect with Missy. She came through. She looked to be about 30-something. That could have been what she looked like when she passed. I know she was extremely fit, you know, healthy. So I'm just assuming, like, I don't know, maybe she was 40-something, but she looked a lot younger. So we talked for a little bit. We talked about her kids, and I told her, you know, why I was connecting with her, what I wanted to know, and I asked her if it would be okay if she talked to me about what happened in the end, and she said sure. Okay, so she said that morning she pulled up to the church. Everything was fine. She was excited about getting everything set up for this, you know, gladiator fitness class she was going to put on. She said as soon as she pulled in and put the car in park, she got this, like, overwhelming sharp pain in her stomach. And she said just this horrible, like, uneasy feeling, like something was wrong, but she couldn't put her finger on it. And for a split second, she thought she was going to have to leave and head back home. She thought maybe she was going to be sick. But she said, you know, it calmed down a little bit. And so she got out of the car. She grabbed her bag. She walked in. And she said when she got over to the church door, it hit her again. She said it just kind of overtook her. And again, she thought, maybe I should turn around and go get in my car and go back home. But it kind of subsided. So she went on into the church and she walked down the hall. And she went into the room that she was going to be holding the class in. And she said, you know, she kept feeling that feeling. It would pop up every so often. But she said, you know, she continued to start setting things up. Oh, God. And then she said she heard somebody out in the hallway. And so she assumed it was one of her class participants. So she kind of stood there waiting, you know, expecting somebody to walk in. And nobody walked in. So she was continuing to set up, and she was over near the door, and she heard a noise in the hallway again. So she stopped, and she said the second she stopped is when she got the worst feeling in her stomach. It was worse than, you know, more intense than what it had been the rest of the morning. Okay, so she sees this person walk in, and it caught her off guard, and she kind of, like, you know, jumped. And she said, you know, it was bizarre because there was something wrong with the, like, they had like a helmet on and there was something wrong with it. She said it was shiny. And she said, you know, she chuckled because it like caught her off guard. Like, why is somebody dressed like that coming in here? You know? So she said she chuckled, kind of jumped, and then she said, "Hi, can I help you?" And the person said, "No, you can't help me or anyone else." And she said, in a flash, she felt this horrible pain to the back of her head. And she said, you know, she was thinking, you know, she needed to fight, but she said it didn't do any good. So I said to her, you know, was this a man? Was this a woman? And she said, well, I wasn't sure at first, but when I heard his voice, it was a male. It was definitely a male. And she said, you know, all of a sudden she was looking down and she could see her body and she could see him. And so something told her that she should, like, you know, take notes of this person. She said, I don't know why I thought I should take notes of this person because I was apparently dead, but she said, I felt like I should. So she said, he was overweight. He was kind of stocky, chubby. I think she said stocky and chubby. And she said the one thing that she noticed, and she said, you know, she's not been able to say this to anyone, the way he walked. She said she took, sorry, y'all. She said she took special notice of the way he walked. Okay. She said, you know, being a fitness instructor in the past, she had come in contact with people that had either had hip replacement surgery or knee replacement surgery. And she said something about the way the guy walked led her to believe that he had either had his knee replaced or his knee was messed up and he needed it fixed, but he hadn't had it done yet. And that's why he kind of walked. His gait was off. He didn't walk right. So she did notice that. I mean, that could be, you know, that could help like zero in on who did this, right? Okay, so she also added that as she was looking down that he was just calm. You know, she said even when he first walked into the room, he was just calm. And the weird thing was, while she was talking about this man, I kept hearing professional, 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 professional. And so as she's saying how calm he was and I'm hearing professional, I'm thinking, wow, is this guy a pro? Like, is he a hired killer? Has he been hired, you know, done this many times? And I think he has. I think he's done this before. I don't think it's his first, you know, go around. Okay, so I went to ask her if she thought her husband had anything to do with it. And as I'm asking her, before I even get the question out, she goes on to talk about how much she loved her husband. And she didn't talk, okay, so at the beginning when we first started chit-chatting, she was talking about her kids. She was telling me all about her kids and, you know, just some personal things. She didn't talk about her husband, right? So when I'm trying to ask her this question, she kind of interrupts and says, you know, I really loved Brandon. I really did. And I always thought he was such a good guy. And she said, but something had changed in him. And she said, looking back, it had probably been like the last 18 months. Something was just a little off with him. And she had asked him several times if everything was okay. And he would just kind of slough her off and just, you know, make excuses. So I said, so do you think he was involved, you know? And she said, as much as I loved him and I continue to love him, she said, I can't shake the feeling that, yeah, he was involved. Okay, so I was getting professional. I was seeing dollar signs. What else was I seeing? Okay, so I kept seeing dollar signs while she was saying this about Brandon. And so I said to her, did he kill you for like money, for life insurance? Because at this point, I didn't know if the dollar signs were that he killed her to get money or if he paid money to have her killed, right? And I was hoping she could clarify that. And she said she didn't think that she had that much life insurance that it would be worth killing her over. But she said, she actually said to me, do you think he took out a life insurance policy without me knowing? And I said, you know what? I don't know anything about life insurance policies other than, you know, the ones that we personally, my husband and I have. And so I don't know if you can do that. I don't know if you can get life insurance on somebody without them knowing. I don't know how that works. So yeah, so that didn't really give me an answer, but I don't know, y'all, but you know, again, another senseless murder, you know. Okay, guys, so be nice, be kind, wear your mask, take this pandemic seriously, okay? Stay safe. We're still in phase 1 here. We're on hold because we have so many cases here now. But I hope everybody's doing okay and hanging in there. That about does it for me. Bye, guys.